As we move into the semester, I just wanted to welcome you to the course and go through some basic dimensions of English L503 for the spring in regard to policies and the course focus. The course focus here is a question of the end. How do you understand the end within an artistic work? And what I mean in terms of that is, how does a work have a narrative end, or what psychological ends does it propose for its reader or viewer? How does that end fit within understandings of other ends within the culture? In particular, this spring we'll be looking at various kinds of ends in contemporary culture. First of all, the cultural fascination with apocalyptic as a genre. Why are people interested in zombie movies about the end of the world, etc. In the middle section of the course, we'll look at how end is figured within the measuring of epics, particularly the sense of the Anthropocene, the current geological moment where human presence on the Earth has defined the planet itself. And then in the final section, we'll look at boundaries as ends, whether those are temporal boundaries or spatial boundaries. How do people figure those ends in context? Also, this means, though, that we'll look at the idea of a literary end. Obituary writers will speak of what is called the tombstone in an obituary. That's a formal section where the death is announced. Do other literary works also have similar points of end to them? That is there a conclusive definition or resolution within narratives? When you read a story, when you read a novel, when you go to see a film, do you expect there to be an end that ties everything up as the piece concludes? And so we'll look at each of the works in this section of the course, and I'll invite you to look outside the course as well to other works to think about how resolution plays within our expectations as readers. And are those ends literarily defined either through the writer's intent or through the reader's expectations? How do you feel when you get to the conclusion of a novel and you feel like it hasn't, quote unquote, ended? We'll look at those ends as well. In terms of the course layout itself, I invite you to please read the novels and essays or poems as they are assigned, and then respond to the discussion prompts each week. The first week there's 2 prompts. Each week following that there'll just be 1. I'll ask you to post your own basic discussion prompt in around 150 to 200 words, and then respond to one of the other seminars participants in another 100 to 150 words as well. Be sure to review the short presentations that will be available under pages or under the module section on Canvas. In each week I'll give you an introduction to the work and explore some aspect of the work within the terms of our larger focus. What that'll do is that'll give you kind of a grounded critical orientation to each work as we move into it. One of the things that we're trying to do with this course is to introduce a sense of how the college literature course offers a theoretical basis, or as I say, a critical orientation to each work as well. And then feel free to kind of to read within the novels, the essays, or the poems for points of focus. Think about how they offer a sense of resolution or not, and then how do they also reflect a sense of the end culturally or psychologically? How is that explored or introduced within each work as well? The readings and writings in this particular course are focused around kind of a graduate pattern. The first assignment in the course is just simply to introduce yourself to others within this course. The course readings will try to keep it within 100 to 150 pages per week of reading. Please try to keep up as best you can. The readings will facilitate the response to the discussion questions. So try to keep up with the reading as best you can. Read within the guidelines of the discussion prompts. I'll post those each Monday as you go into the week, and so you can have a sense of how you're going to respond to what you've read. Utilize the noted models and other resources that will be available under pages and modules. Sometimes I try to post interviews or other critical pieces that ground our reading of the piece as well. And be sure to read and respond to other participants' postings. I'll give you up to 4 points for your own discussion response, and then an additional point is available in your response to others' postings. In terms of the writings themselves, I will give you a set of prompts for each of the short essays, the short literary analyses within the course. The idea is that you'll write 3 short essays of around 5 pages each, and then you'll take one of those 3 short analyses and build it into a more extended essay or analysis of about 10 pages at the end of the course. So there's a focus on revision in the writing process here that I'd like to reinforce as we go into the course. Hopefully the discussion postings will enable you to start thinking about central questions for the critical analysis of each section of the course. Because this is a 4-credit graduate course, I'm also going to ask you to work with an editing partner on each of your 3 analyses, and I'll ask the editing partner to write a short 1-page introduction to your analysis, around 250 words. It's 1-page double-spaced type as well. So you'll see those assignments as well. And then, as I said, the final extended essay that will be due. So it ends up being around just short of 30 pages of writing plus your discussion prompts for a graduate course. For grading and evaluation, as I noted, that you can receive between 0 and 4 points for each of your discussion posts. Plus, I'll ask you to respond to someone else in the course in their prompts. So that is an additional 1 point. So each discussion post offers 5 potential points for you. The short analyses are worth between 0 and 25 points. The introductions that you'll write to your partner's analyses are worth from 0 to 10 points. And then the final revised essay is worth between 0 and 50 points. The criteria that I use for grading is your general sense of engagement with the assigned stories, poems, or essays throughout the course, as well as the grounding sources and the prompts. Your critical insights within the story's development or context, and then the basic kind of technical aspects of your writing. How clear is your analysis? How focused is it? In what depth does your argument proceed? As we begin the course, I want you just to take a few moments and review the syllabus that's available on Canvas as well under syllabus. Note the basic information there. My office hours are listed on the IUN campus. You can also call me during those hours as well, and I will try to have some online office hours available as writing assignments come due. You can also email me at any time, and I'll be happy to answer. I try to answer within 12 hours with email requests. So I try to answer email at least twice a day in terms of work. So I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. I will also make margin comments on your drafts as well as respond to discussion postings. I'll also post a short kind of introductory thing on how to get those margin comments if you have not worked in Canvas before. Also note all the course policies that are listed on the syllabus. I ask you to submit work on time through Canvas itself. So that's the standard way to submit your analyses and your discussion posts. I'll give a deadline for each work. I also usually extend the deadline through the weekend in the week that the work's due, so that I understand that you all have outside responsibilities, including work as well as family responsibilities as well, and so it doesn't have to be done by Friday. Response to discussion prompts are encouraged by Friday Although, as I say, I'll leave those open through Sunday night at 10 p.m. Central Time, Gary time, each week. So it's not late at that point. As long as the assignment's open, it is certainly not being graded as late. There's no deductions for it. Although, please note that no late discussion responses will be accepted. So you need to respond within the discussion prompts themselves to other participants' work here. Please review the plagiarism policy as it's detailed on the syllabus itself. And finally, if this is your first online course, please note that there are some differences with the online course itself. One of the main things here is just the need to keep up with work. That this isn't kind of a correspondence thing, that we do have an ongoing kind of workload throughout the week, and I try to respond and try to respond to your discussion prompts within that week after you have made them. So welcome to the course. Look forward to working with you, and I hope it is an enjoyable experience as we go forward and kind of thinking about the end together. Thanks.